Good day, thinkers, thought leaders. Why don't you start laughing?
Go ahead.
Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart.
I'm Derek J.
And we are discussing gay black men and black straight men tonight. We put the call out 2 weeks ago today. And we mostly got responses from gay men.
But we knew this already.
We knew this.
I know what you wanted, but...
And I was being optimistic.
You're being optimistic, but it's just that did not happen. Why is this doing this?
And interestingly enough, I was just telling Derek right before we started, someone posted, a guy posted a very, I'm assuming a straight guy, posted a very negative comment on my YouTube channel on one of my videos. And I went to click on it. I saw the comment earlier today, and I went to click on it to reply and invite him to share his thoughts, those thoughts on this panel. But I think YouTube had filtered the comment out, so I couldn't get to it. But I was absolutely going to invite him tonight.
So the Lord knows what he was doing.
Because I was going to eat him up.
I know you was. That's you're so catty. You just came. It's
the Baltimore,
right? You just want to get on somebody so bad.
It's the Baltimore.
Okay, but you know, but this is not going to be that conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to work. You know. Yes, we are live. We are live, TB. But we have assembled a panel of gay men and straight men. I'll let them tell you how they identify. Like, I don't want to make assumptions.
Yeah. So for me. I don't. Surprisingly, I really never had a problem with straight men. Like, even in my full regalia of things, I haven't ever really got straight men like me. Like, you know, they want to talk to me. They want to be my friend. They want to be, and it's something. And for me, it gets uncomfortable sometimes because only because. I know what friendship and friendly is, but then also
where you feel tolerated.
No, not tolerated. No. I never feel like for my straight friends I do have. I don't never feel tolerated by them, but I do feel like sometimes they're too friendly, and I'm like, hey.
Well, kind of like white folks. They're too friendly with you because they want you to know that they're okay with black people.
Well, no, I don't think that's like not that they're okay with me. I just think that they're just. I think that it's. I look at it like how a straight man is friends with a woman, right? And it's just certain things you just can't be like do to a woman, or you can't be. You have to handle a woman differently than you will handle another guy.
Right.
So if you handle somebody like that, then they either get mixed signals or emotions or things, and they try to make sure like, hey,
right,
let's not do that.
Right.
Like we gonna.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I find myself in those positions sometimes, and it just gets a little, it's just a little dicey. Even though it's not, and I don't know if it's like they try or anything, but I just think they're just genuinely. It was explained to me that even though we have our like your man and woman, we still have energies.
Yes,
and you know, some people have masculine energy, and some people have feminine energy. I have feminine energy. And it was explained that, you know, that men are not, they're not there because they're attracted to you, but they're attracted to their energy of that. So they don't. So then when they start approaching me, it's very, and I'm just like, like you can't. So those have been my issues with.
And to that point, I think that some black straight men understand how energy draws you to them,
right? Not
in a sexual way, but in a, I like him,
right?
And I think for those who have issues with gay men, are afraid of just that close connection as a friend because of what perception is. You know, with what straight women might think of a straight man being really close to a gay guy. You know, because I have a really good friend who is straight, and we've known each other for years. I've never thought anything about it. Like I've never thought that he was gay. I've never thought that he was interested in me. I never thought anything like that. Now, some of my straight friends and some of my gay friends see our relationship. We have a very close relationship. Like I haven't talked to him in ages, but when we see each other, he's very touchy-feely. You know that he's just that way, right? But I have straight friends and gay friends that are like, You sure he don't like you? He
well,
sure
no,
is.
that's
You know, and I'm like, no, I've never thought that. I've never felt that. But I think that for some straight men who have issues with gay men, I think that's what it is for them. Like I was telling you about my cousin. My cousin Byron his wife has a really good gay friend who's really feminine.
Right.
These are his words. And he said, you know, sometimes he's around him or whatever because his wife and the guy are friends.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I just don't understand why he got to act like that. Like, why he got to be like that? It just makes me like he just was very, very much so, you know, disgusted by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to my cousin, and see, this is one of the things that I say to Black gay men or LGBTQ people. You have to challenge the people in your life when they have issues like this. This was my cousin. So I challenged him in that space. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, if you're not comfortable in your skin or you're not out to your family, you can't challenge nobody. Because, you know what I'm saying? You can't really have a teachable moment. Mm-hmm. So what I did, I said to him, I said, listen, what you need to ask yourself, why do you have issues with his femininity? Mm-hmm. Like, what does that have to do with you? Mm-hmm. You can assume that he's interested in you, which I think a lot of straight men think, but it's just like we're not attracted to everybody that we see. You know what I'm saying? We have standards too, just like you're not attracted to every woman you see. But then I took it a step further and I said to him, you're my cousin, we're family, you love me. You wouldn't want somebody to mistreat me simply because I'm gay. So think about that's somebody's family member. You know, and so you have to kind of challenge the people in your life, you know, when they present like that.
Right. I had one experience that is when I had this nail tech come work for me, and she just had a male clientele, and they were like, "Oh, why are you going to work over there?" There was one in particular that had the biggest voice and the biggest mouth.
So he didn't want to have to come to her at your salon.
Yeah, yes. So he had the biggest. So then she started coming. I mean, she was like, I'm coming. He started coming. Now I can't get rid of his ass. I'm like, now, sir. Now, do you remember? Well, I ain't know it'll be like this. And I'm like, but so the thing is that I do think that was the only time. And like anytime I have that discourse with men, once they get to know me, they're like, oh man, you. But I never felt like fucked up by it.
Right. So, and you know, and to that point, Madison and I have that conversation a lot of times. A lot of times, gay folk, when they feel embraced or accepted by straight folk, sometimes they get comfortable in that. They relax in that, and it's a false sense of security sometimes. Because when you think that you've been accepted, sometimes you allow yourself to fall into that, oh, I like you because you're different from them. You're not like them other ones. Right. You're a different kind of gay. And sometimes gay folk fall into that and they feel so impressed because you accept me because I'm not like the other gays. But you be aware, because when they're talking about them punks, them fags, they're talking about you too.
So let's get, because you know me and you'll talk all night.
We will.
So let's get into the conversation. And you know, you normally do that part. Okay. So you know.
And let us know how you identify, because again, we don't want to assume, you know, so just let us know if you identify as straight, gay, bi, whatever, so that we can, you know, go from there.
So where do you want to start at?
Let's start.
Yeah.
Rio. Unmute your mic.
Yourself. You mute.
Can you hear me now? Hey, I love you guys, by the way. Oh my God.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this is amazing. I love this platform.
Thank you.
So how are you?
Thank you.
Okay, cool. And then so how do you identify?
Gay.
Okay.
Okay.
So talk to me about your experience as being a gay Black man and dealing with straight Black men.
Well, it's kind of like what you were saying there, Derek, when you were talking about the energy. Like me, I think I vibrate off of two different energies, masculine and feminine, even like the way I present myself sometimes and all that. I'm a little nervous, so don't.
It's okay. No,
you're fine.
But in that happening, it's like when I'm interacting with other men, sometimes they don't know where to place me. And sometimes I find like men are like, in your case, what you're saying, I find like they are attracted to me in some cases too, but they don't really want to say that. So it can really be a real attraction, because it can be like how they interact with me. Like they might smile a little more, and then like when people are not around, they pull it back in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or it can be kind of confusing, conflicting, and I'm not even trying to give them that energy, but they might pull that from me. You know what I'm saying? So because I have a natural feminine energy or whatever you want to call it, but so it can be kind of tricky because even other people who are more on an androgynous type of realm or whatever you want to call it, like they may look more like passing like a woman. They, they probably deal with the same thing I'm talking about. They'll get more of can I give you a story?
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
A short story, honey, because last time I gave us a story, so I didn't want to get about 40 minutes.
No, it's a short story. But I used to work in a warehouse, right? When I worked in a warehouse, this one guy there, I could just tell from the first moment of meeting him, he was like a team lead. And he was over my little cell, whatever. I could tell from the first time meeting him, it was just some kind of like connection there. And over time, everybody gets to know each other. And then I just felt like he started doing it. You know that saying, like, when you're younger, like when the guy messes with you, he like really like likes you when he's picking on you.
Like love tag.
So I just kind of felt something was there, yeah. And then it kind of slowly turned into that. He started like getting more aggressive with it, doing like more little like touching and stuff when people weren't around. And it's like, and he was a straight man. I know he was straight because he only has like a wife and all that. Not to say that, I just could tell he's a straight man. You know what I'm saying? In the way he was doing, he was kind of like scared to kind of like go in that realm. So it was just, I don't know. But I deal with that a lot. So yeah.
So and how are you? And how do you handle that?
How do I handle? I to be honest with you, I don't give them much. Like I'm like, you gotta let me know what it is. I'm not gonna be trying to pull.
Who you talking
about? But I can just feel it, because I'm 33, so I've been in this body for quite some time. So I could just. Why are you looking like that? So
no.
This comment right here that my girl Miss Kitty just dropped down there. I hear you though. I'm listening.
Craig be multitasking.
I multitask.
She be taking notes. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm writing down my next question.
Writing down the questions. Taking things. Craig multitask. Don't pay Craig no attention.
But it's energy, like, and then like it's the whole stereotypes that are placed on black men. You're supposed to be hyper masculine, this and that. So if you're friends with somebody that's a little more vibrating on the feminine frequency, then how do you appeal to this demographic? So it's like they keep you in like a certain little segment almost. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll give you so much, and then when the people are around, they want to pull it back. So, but now I have a pretty good group of straight male friends that are more like in tune with who they are. But even them, I sometimes find them being a little nervous with certain things. But when we go in public and stuff, they don't want to look like they're with me, stuff like that.
Well, thank you, Rio. Thank you for your input on this conversation. We're gonna drop you down, and then we're gonna bring you back up at the end for a roundabout. Okay?
Yep.
All right.
But one of the things that he said triggered me to put a little note in here, and because he was saying that he thinks that sometimes there are straight identified men who are attracted to him, or a gay person whose energy just draws them in. But just to play devil's advocate, I will say I think that sometimes straight men keep gay men at bay because if they're nice, if they're kind, if they're thoughtful with a gay man, the perception will be, oh, he likes me. Because that's what I'm basically saying about my really good straight friend. Like, he's done a lot of great things for me. Like, he works in automotive, so he's done things on my car and didn't charge me just because we're friends. But my friends, straight and gay, perceive that as, oh, he must want you. He liked it. And I'm like,
you have very fast friends.
These are straight and gay friends.
Well, I know your gay ones is real. Right. So I do know that.
But what about straight men who just keep gay men at bay? Because some gay men do thrive on trying to turn a guy out.
But it's the same thing. But it's bad apples everywhere. Like you know what I'm saying? Because it's some women that thrive on breaking up marriages. There's some women that
Right.
So so it's those things are there. But I just feel like there are levels of niceness, you know. And there's one thing about being cordial, and there's one thing about being overly, you know. They like to me, it always bothers me. Like I know I'm short, but it bothers me. Like when a straight man,
God
no.
Oh.
They definitely don't do that. But no, when they grab me here.
Oh, you don't. Oh, you don't like. Wait, let me move the comments so they can see. So they can see what I'm doing. Oh, you don't like to be pulled over like that?
No, not
by a straight man.
No,
because girl, he gets around your waist, girl.
Yeah,
you think it's ready to happen?
Why you? No, grab me on my shoulder.
You don't like him to grab you, girl. You stand there with them heels and palazzo pants on, girl. He gonna grab you up like this.
No, honey. Grab my shoulder and pull me over. Do not be touching the small of my waist, honey. Like you know, don't be doing shit like that. Honey, I am a man, honey.
Despite these heels,
I'm a man. Don't do me like that.
You know what? You gays are so complicated.
I'm not being complicated. It's like,
oh my God, that's funny.
But no, that really throws you into a tizzy because it's it's like, sir,
right?
Why are you doing that?
Not sir.
Like, don't do that for me. Like, I don't need you
because you don't understand what you're doing.
You understand me. Right? Thank you. I was working on a set. I'm not. We go to the next person, but real quick, I was working on a set with this actor. And he was just overly nice. Like he was overly nice. I said, "Hey, you know I'm gay, right?"
Wait, did you just tell me about this when we saw him when we?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
He was overly nice too, but I know that what that was.
Okay.
But no, I said, you know I'm gay, right? Like, so I need you. Like, you can't do all these things with me.
You gave him instructions.
Yeah, I was like, because like, sweetie, you're giving me
that you want
me
in this trail,
and if that go there, and if I do something because you know. This is your fault
because I thought that was a call to action.
I'm not telling. It was a scene, but they were in the tub. Y'all's a scene. They were in the tub.
Oh,
and so they have like these flesh tone underwear, but they're like tight. So he was sitting there talking to me. He was like, "Yeah." So now I'm sitting down.
He's I'm gonna have to figure out who this is once we cut this.
Right, but I'm sitting down. And he's standing up, and so he's just like,
"So you are already 3 feet tall." So his pelvis
I was
area.
Sitting down.
So you were sitting down, so you were like 3 feet tall. So his pelvis.
Yeah, and he just was talking and rocking back. I said, hey.
When you touched him like that, where did you touch him?
I had to touch him up here. I just do like, hey, sir, we can't do that.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. So who's next?
All right, let's go on over here to Big Meech.
Hey, Big Red, Big Red in the building, man.
Big Red.
Big Red. I'm sorry. I met you on the conversation. I'm sorry. I met you on the conversation with Big Meech. I'm sorry.
All right, Craig, Gary, what's up? I'm a fan, bro. How y'all doing?
Thank you very much. And then how do you identify Big Red?
I'm 100% straight guy, bro.
Okay.
But I have zero issues with the LBGT community. Zero.
Right.
I mean, if you're doing a radio show with Big Meech, you definitely can't have no issue with that.
What? Yeah, okay. But Big Meech is my brother, my friend. You know, Big Meech is really holding the BFF card with me.
Okay.
You know, man, really, because he's been there for me, and I definitely look out for that guy. I don't allow no disrespect to him at all.
So, have you ever had issues with gay men, or have you ever been criticized by straight folks for being close to a gay man?
Actually, I've had a few people that tell me, like, they ask me, like, man, why you so cool with the guy? Because I don't change my stripes in public with Big Meech. I'm the guy in business that I am in public, that we are, you know, I invite him to my family functions. I don't change my ways. The same laughs and the camaraderie that we do anywhere else, I keep it public, I keep it private, I keep it what I want to keep it, because I identify who I am and I know who he is. We respect our boundaries.
So you've never had issues, like you never had like.
Well, that's not the way to ask the question.
Okay, well, how you want me to ask it? He want me to polish it up.
Yeah, because I see where you try to go. So my question to you, Big Red, is that did you have to evolve to be this person?
No, actually, I didn't. What it was is I had a good youth. I had a great youth. I was raised, you know what I'm saying, to not judge. You know what I'm saying, don't be judged. Don't accept nobody judging you, and don't judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I grew up in a household where my mom was a licensed cosmetologist and beautician, okay? So me going up there to shops and all that, I've been around it, and the guy who used to do her hair, Danny, you know what I'm saying? God, rest in peace. But those people I've been around since a child. And the first one I was 9 years old, and I was introduced to Danny, and Danny was like uncle auntie, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I accepted that. The kids that were advanced and understood what gay was, or had their ignorant definition of what gay was, they had their negative things to say, but I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I got into a few fights as a child. But I'm identifying with that. Then I've been married. Where my brother-in-law, I have a brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law now, but I've been married where he had never been with a woman his whole life. He the gayest man I've met in my life. He's gayer than you, Derek.
I'm not that gay though.
Craig, stop it, Craig. But yeah, at the same time, when people approach me, I'm one of those guys that I'll educate you.
Right.
But I'm gonna be checking your ass at the same time, but I'm gonna educate you because your ignorance is not necessary, because guess what? That same guy might be the guy that can give you a kidney. His life choices are not your life choices, and they don't do nothing to put money in your household. Whatever he's doing with his life is his business. It's up to you to whether support it or look away. You don't have to be derogatory. You don't have to dog and be negative. You don't have to say nothing to him. That's what I feel like this. You already have this problem. You got people out here that have the bashing. They want to be gay bashers. They want to talk all this negativity. But you know where I feel my thing is this: you all are black men. You have to deal with people going against the gay community, and you have to deal with people standing up and being derogatory towards you as a black man. You have extra fights. And to me, if I gonna put a coalition together or a congregation of black men to whatever, I am including the LGBT community.
Well, again, you're an anomaly. Well, I wouldn't say an anomaly, but you're in a minority.
He really actually not, because but it's a lot of them. There's a lot more allies than we know.
Right.
We just people just talk about the people that aren't allies.
Right, and their experiences, so it amplifies it.
Like I have amazing, like I said, like Terry J. Vaughn's husband is amazing. Karan, Nicole Ari Parker, Boris Kojo, his husband is amazing. Like Peter Thomas, amazing. Greg Leaks,
and so
all those men are they're amazing men to me.
Right.
So
my title, Derek, Craig, that's my title on the show that we do. They call me Big Red, the big guy ally. That's the position I hold as a co-host. Because what it is, Meech does his thing and everything, but then I give the heterosexual, point of view or commentary. So everybody gets the opinion from both sides of whatever the topic is. You know what I'm saying? And there's no negativity there. Because I don't allow nobody to do the faggots and the punks and all that stuff. You don't do that shit around me. You're not going to do it.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Big Red. We're going to drop you down. We're going to bring you back up for the roundabout, okay?
All right.
One thing he said, too, was about people, the way that people were raised. So I remember a time, I have a client, Tracy Boyd, and I would go to her house. And her son is older now, but I remember he might have been like 7, maybe 6 or 7. And so I come to the door. He runs down the door. He was like, "Oh, Miss Derrick is at the door," and I was like,
"Miss Derrick."
Yeah. She said, "What
Miss
did you say?" He was like, "Miss Derrick is at the door," and so she came downstairs. She was like, "Where did that come from?" He's like, "Well, I see him on TV, and he has on women's clothes, and his name is Derrick, so
Miss Derrick
is Miss Derrick." And she was like, "Well, Derrick's not a woman." He's like, "I know, but."
He wearing heels and things,
right? So therefore,
so
the thing is that it all is about the way that you're raised and and the way that you talk.
Right.
So
same thing with racism. It's just, the thing that's so interesting for me is it's always funny when Black folks take issue or have difficulty accepting LGBTQ people, Black LGBTQ people, but want to be on equal playing field with white folks. Want white folks to have compassion, to see their humanity.
Now the Blacks get mad when you try to compare.
They do. That's fine.
Get
civil rights with gay rights.
Yeah, that's a different story.
That's right. But it's all relative.
The Blacks ain't got time to hear that. You cannot compare slavery to being gay.
Anyway,
who we going to?
A. Ali.
Hey, what's going How you doing?
We're well.
Good.
How are you?
you doing?
I'm doing great. First and foremost,
oh well, okay. Go with
I'm
you.
sorry.
No, go ahead. You start off.
Oh, first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you for letting me be on your platform and to express, to have this conversation that needs to be talked about. Well, I'm an openly gay male.
Okay.
Born and raised in Detroit, and I have a plethora of varieties of dealing with straight men or straight self-identifying males. I remember it's a couple stories that I could talk about. It was a friend of mine. We still friends to this day. She got married to this guy that she knew for a couple months. And so her husband and I, we became friends. We started talking about, everything, sports, business, just about everything. And so one day I was talking to my friend, I was talking to her. And so she had put me on the speakerphone, and I was telling her, I had like relationship issues with this guy. And so he overheard it. And so I remember like a week or two, I drove past her house, and then her door was open. And then, so the door was open. So I just, I had a little spare time. So I came up to her house, and, I said, hey, what's up? What's up? We're gonna call her Sally. What's up, Sally? How you doing? And so her husband was there, and next thing you know, he gave me this hard, like I did something, like I owe him some money or something like that. And he just gave me like, what you doing here? I'm like, what you mean I'm doing here? Well, you have to leave. I'm like what the heck is going on? He was just so I was like, hold on, dude. I was like, you know what? Let me walk away because I don't know what's going on with this. I had to just walk away. So I had talked to her. So I had said, Sal, what's going on with your husband? Well, he said, so she told me, so he sit there and said that, well, he's feel uncomfortable around you because you're gay, stuff like that. I said, well, you didn't tell her I was gay? Like, I don't understand what's the difference between back then and now. Like, we talked on the phone every other day. Sometimes he called me, sometimes I'll call him. We talk, and I just didn't understand that. So
did y'all ever get to fix that?
We able to fix that. If we able to fix that, it took like a year or two because she said, well, to avoid this confrontation, I don't want you to come around. I said, well, I'm your friend. I've been your friend for like 10 years. You know this Negro for like 2 or 3 months.
Right.
And I said to myself, you know what? That marriage is not going to make it. I wasn't trying to speak negative, but I just call things how it is. So make a long story short, they got divorced.
Gotcha. So that y'all so you and him never really got to talk about it.
You know what? Her ex-husband did talk to me about it. We did have a conversation about it. And he sit there and said to me, he apologized about it.
Oh, we think we lost him.
Okay, it looks like we may have lost.
Hey, Ali, the connection stopped. Oh, let's see. Okay.
So we're gonna move on over to Marquez.
That sounds so dry. Jesus.
Oh, no.
We're gonna move over to Marquez. Like, you upset. He jealous of your back. He jealous of your interior. He was like, where's he?
I was
at?
like, wonder what city he in.
So hey Marquez, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How do you identify?
I am gay.
And for Craig's for Craig's knowledge, where are you from?
I'm
Where you at right now?
I'm over here in Old Fourth Ward in the ghetto.
You know what?
Really?
I really thought that was a building on Ponce, but I was like, I wonder if he's in Atlanta.
This is, yeah. This
Yeah.
is.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I'm over in Mechanicsville, so.
And I'm at his house.
And it was great. And it was great.
So how do you can contribute to this conversation between Black gay men and Black straight men?
I honestly think when I look back at it, and I think about my experiences with straight men and just with Black men altogether, I think as a gay man myself, I have a harder time connecting with other gay men than I do with straight men. I feel like oftentimes when I interact with different gay men, I almost give them leverage to interact. If I see them, I go the extra mile to interact, to even sometimes say, you know what, we're both gay, like we're both in it together. But gay men, especially Black gay men, give me a harder time when it comes to interacting than straight men. The straight men seem to love me. It's the gay men that hate me.
And you know, something you said triggered me to think about, and I think I've shared this before, but I'm sure there's probably somebody here that may not have never heard it. When I was younger and less secure in my own sexuality, and you know, my confidence hadn't quite caught up yet, and I remember not being able to really have eye contact with straight men because I felt like in some way it would have been intimidating to them that I'm looking at them straight on, you know, with eye contact. So I really didn't do it. But then I just got to a point where I said, well, that's not my work. That's their work. I have nothing to do with that. So that was one, you know, thing. And as a kid, not now, but as a kid, I always felt more comfortable around girls or women.
And
because
you're gay. That's
I think
I mean,
more pointedly, I think it was because I just wasn't secure in my sexuality. Because now I'm still gay, but I don't have an issue with being in a room with straight men, or you know, I don't have a choice, a preference rather.
Now, have you had issues with straight men?
No, I think I have a lot of straight Black men friends, and just like what you explained earlier, Derek, there are some times where I feel like I either have to reset the boundaries with them, or I have to reset the boundaries within myself and say, you know what, there is some energy here because we're true men and we're having a good friendship, but you know, before we cross that door, we need to, you know, take a step back to, you know. So that's usually my experience with straight Black men. But one thing.
Well, question for you, because do you think that they knowingly have this experience with you, or are they just experiencing you? If I'm answering that question right.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is like, do they know that they're having that somewhat intimate experience with me, or or is it growing to be that way? You know what? It's hard to say. There are times out there when I meet a straight Black man and we start out with a good friendship, and before you know it, it starts out with a hug, like you were saying, and I'm like, oh, there's a hug, and I'm, you know, and it gets really close. Or a lot of times I would have Black straight friends that they would run to open the door for me, or they would want to pay for me to go out, and I'm like, we ain't got to do that unless you're coming back to Ponce de Leon. We ain't got to do that. Like, you ain't got to worry about none of that. But it just seems like I feel like sometimes whatever they're missing, whether it's at home or in a relationship, maybe they're missing that brotherhood or that friendship, and even that feminine aspect from their relationship. I feel like sometimes maybe they seek that void in gay men like us, and we fill that void. But are they going to fill the void, so to speak?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So, but like I said, I'm glad that you said that you have to reset the boundaries with them, and you have to reset the boundaries with yourself. Because sometimes, you know, we got to check ourselves too. Because I know one time, like, I think I love you, and I was like, wait a minute, let me get myself together.
Right.
Well, because they treat you like, see, quite masculine, so they don't really treat you that way, you know. But for us petite ladies, they just
like grab you around the waist like that.
For us petite women, they you know they you know they experience you differently, and you know, and I just be like, child, wait a minute. Could you be my husband? But then I have to think. Then you got to check yourself.
You gotta check yourself and make sure you aren't falling in love, and or you just not going too far.
Right. No, these are just my little questions.
Oh, okay.
One of the things too that I remembered is I actually didn't apply to Morehouse College because it's an all-male school, and at that time in my life, I just wasn't as comfortable around guys. So I never even applied to Morehouse, not knowing that the campuses are integrated. So the students at Morehouse take classes at Spelman and vice versa. So I would have been able to hang out with girls because at that time I was more comfortable hanging out with girls.
So you want to go to Spelman?
No, I'm saying.
That's a legitimate question.
No.
I'm just asking.
I wanted to go to Morehouse. So what I'm saying is, I didn't want to go. I didn't apply because I just felt like I would always be around guys all the time. But if I knew I was able to interact with girls, not go to class at Spelman, but interact with the girls, I would have probably applied there. But I went to Hampton because that's what it was meant to be. But the other thing that I wanted to say was, I think sometimes in the traditional sense where you have straight men that are not attracted to gay men or anything like that, but they just have issues with gay men. I think sometimes those men have issues with gay men because they were molested by a man or they were raped by a man. And so it's just kind of like, sometimes like when you see portrayed in different movies, like a rape victim, she may be a white woman, she gets raped by a black man, and all of a sudden every black man that she experiences, she's nervous around. So it's the same thing with, straight men, straight identified men who actually move through the world as straight men may have been molested or raped or sexually violated by a man. And so they take that out on all gay men. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's an issue that's tucked away.
So Marquez, thank you. We're gonna drop you down, and then we'll bring you back up for the roundabout. Okay. Boom. And then last but not least,
Trente.
Hey.
How are you?
I am pretty good, and this is about to be a hot one with what I'm about to say.
Okay. How do you identify?
I identify as a homosexual black man.
Okay. So then we'll talk to us.
And I hate heterosexual black men, period.
Jeesh.
They are the absolute and total enemy to black LGBT people globally, every fucking where. I don't know what dude y'all been dealing with. And one thing that really upsets me is I hear a lot of gay black dudes wanting to almost try to cater to black heterosexual men because I guess they want to date them or they want to be attracted to them or some shit like that. But we live in a world where hip hop hates us, the culture hates us, reggae music hates us. They make no bones about hating us. Derek J, I wanted to bring this up to you. I saw a meme with you and Miss Lawrence. And in the black community, in the cishet black community, they say that you are the problem with our race. Craig is the problem with our race. I'm the problem with our race, not the drug dealers, not the gangbangers, not the rapists, not the murderers, not the pimps. Do you understand that we are the niggers of this race? And I'm just like, I am so upset because I just feel like a lot of gay black men are just a bunch of fucking coon queens who want to be invited to this black fucking picnic or cookout. I mean, I'm not here for this shit. I'm not. Like the whole Breonna Taylor thing, if that was a black trans woman, we wouldn't be talking about it. I'm not marching for no heterosexual nigga ever. Fuck them. I am dead ass serious.
Oh, okay.
And I remember you said that in your email. I remember that in your email.
So for me, this is me. And I understand where you're coming from. I understand the feelings you have behind it, and I understand the point behind it. But for me, that hasn't been my experience. And unfortunately, but we're talking as a whole. Yes, it is. We're talking as a whole. Yeah, the black community don't fuck with gays. Period. So yes, I'm with you. We're talking as a whole, but we only can talk could talk about our personal experiences
Mhm.
that we've had. And
Mhm.
fortunately for me, I haven't had those experiences. And on top of that, I don't place myself into I have a very good friend, Jamil.
Mhm.
And Jamil puts himself in situations I would never place myself in. Like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
can't believe you said his name.
Well, yeah, but that's my friend.
I know.
I told him that before.
Oh, you-
Yeah, that's something I've never told. Like I've never said it to him.
Mhm.
But you know, like going to Onyx or like he stays in a straight place. For me, that doesn't work for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be somewhere where I'm just tolerated.
Mhm.
So I don't put myself into those atmospheres. But from a day-to-day basis, dealing with straight men,
Mhm.
I haven't had a day-to-day issue with them.
Right.
But I wouldn't put myself. But I do expect if I put myself in the atmosphere of that,
Mhm.
I do expect some type of hate or disdain that
Mhm.
comes from it.
Mhm.
Okay, Derek J, but you're being subjective about your individual interactions with people. I'm talking about the macro of Black culture. Homophobia is a protected and celebrated culture against us. And
In the way that racism is for white people.
Exactly.
That's why I say there are
Exactly.
so many parallels between gay rights and civil rights.
No,
I know a lot of.
I
I know
get
you
it.
do. I know a lot of Black folks though don't
And
think
I just feel like so many Black gays are just like a bunch of fucking coon queens who want to be accepted and want to be loved and want, they just want to be liked. Like,
But-
I don't want to be accepted. I want to be respected. I command respect. I don't give a fuck if you don't like me or if you don't accept me.
I will
And
say
then another thing that I have
Go
to say
ahead.
is this right here. I'm not attracted to masculinity. I think that's the first thing. So masculinity don't do shit for me. I
right.
think a lot of gay Black men, they're hated by Black heterosexual cis het men, and they're attracted to them. And so there's a dichotomy there. You're hated by these people, but you're still attracted to them.
So, but I will say What I will say this is that I have to be subjective, because if I'm not subjective about the experience, then I would be an angry Black man, which I don't want to be that neither. Because the thing is, so I have to work off. I can't take on the energy of the whole, because the energy of the whole is not affecting me personally. So the thing is, so I can't just be angry. What I mean by that is that, like, for me, I don't find myself cooning to have the love of straight Black men. That's not what happens. I find myself being who I am, and so the thing is that it's not right for me if I do create a relationship. Let me take prime example. I work on a show on BET called Tales, who Irv Gotti is the executive producer from Murder Inc. And when I went into the space, I'm like, I called my mom. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, it's Irv Gotti and all his goons and all these people. Like, I don't know if I can be worked in this space
and be able to
maneuver in this space. I didn't go in wanting to be accepted or loved by them. I just wanted to be respected.
But I think what Trent is saying, because I think people like us, gays like us, are in the minority. I think the majority of gay men, and since we're talking about Black gay men, would rather pass as straight or go along to get along.
Right.
I think the majority would.
But no, and that's true. I understand. But me going into that situation, I went in there taking on all the pressures of the whole. That situation wouldn't work for me, because I went in there as an angry Black gay man,
right?
Talking about fuck all the rest of these straight people. Where that's not like where I don't function in that space. So that's what I mean by I say I can't take on the pressure of it all. I just don't function in that space.
Right.
Okay, Derek J, but you have to understand, this is the hate that hate created. This is an equal and opposite reaction to oppression, hatred, and terrorism from heterosexual Black men. I mean, what does the world expect from us?
So question for you there, Trent. So what's the solution for you?
There is no solution. They can have whatever they have. We can have whatever we have. I don't want to get along with you. The history is too fucked up. I don't want shit with you. The police can put their knees on your neck. They can blow your brains out. I don't give a fuck.
You have this same viewpoint by white people too, huh?
Not necessarily. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. In my life, I have not been white heterosexual men have done nothing but hire me and pay me money.
So now so Trent, you can't be subjective when you want to, and I can't be subjected.
But I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist and that it's not a problem. But y'all are trying to paint this picture like, well, it's really not that. Well, I know this person, or I know 5 people over here who aren't homophobic, so it's just really not an issue.
But Trent, you're doing the same thing for white people.
No, I'm not, because I know that white people.
You're giving them the pass
because they
I'm not giving them a pass.
What did you say, gay Conan?
I'm not giving them a pass. I'm not giving them a pass. I do understand that racism exists. I do understand that in the corporate sphere,
right? But what you're saying is, in your experience with white men, they've only given you jobs. So it's almost like they okay with me because they
that's not the case. I'm not negating. I'm not negating racism because I've made money because white men have.
But how is that different from a gay boy who's accepted by straight people? Be like, oh, well, they're not talking about me. They're talking about those gays.
But at the same time, most of the people on this panel who've been on here is just about, well, I have heterosexual black men who I'm friends with, and they kind of like me, or I think they may like me, or some shit like that. I'm like, you're ignoring the hatred. Do you not understand that murderers are more respected in the black community than us?
But okay, so but I'm telling you though, Trent, I get all that, and like I said, once again, I am with you. But the thing, what I'm saying to you is that running around here being fucking mad and being saying fuck them all, they all could die. That's also not the conversation. So the conversation is, if there is a heterosexual man that want to sit down and talk to you and have a conversation with you and get to know you, and from a man-to-man situation, why would you say fuck that because of all these other niggas that act like that? So fuck that. I'm not dealing with you because of everybody else. That's not how the world works.
Okay, I'm speaking in macro. I'm speaking of the anti-gay culture of black people. But what y'all are trying to do, you're trying to make the exception the rule. The rule is we are hated. The exception is you got a couple friends that like you.
Trent. What I'm telling you is that we're not disagreeing with you on that. That part, we're not disagreeing with you on that. Now, I'm having a conversation with Trent. I'm talking about me and you. Because when we first started this conversation, the conversation was fuck that, fuck them, don't want to have a conversation.
In macro.
Fuck them.
In macro, yes.
Well, okay, well, that was so I didn't know it was in macro. I thought that was your personal feeling.
I mean, well, you have to understand, I don't have any heterosexual black male friends at all, period. I never have. Right. And the point I'm making, this is the point I'm making. If you guys can't tell, I'm extremely passionate about this.
No, I can tell.
And I have
think that your passion. I do think, and no offense, I do think that your passion for it, it keeps you from not listening because you just you right now you know how to deal with this because this is how Craig is the same way. When y'all get your mind headstrong on something, there's no y'all. You don't hear. You take bits and pieces of what you want to hear to make it benefit your action. I understand everything you're saying. I don't disagree with you at all. Believe me, I know when I put on heels, booty shorts, purse, all that stuff, I understand what the mass majorities of that would do. But my thing is when I step out the house, I go to the places where I know I'm accepted, I'm loved, and I won't have those issues with. So I only can talk about from my experience and what I've dealt with and how I've been dealt with by people. I wasn't gay bashed, I wasn't raped, I didn't have all these issues. So for me, I've only had pleasant issues with straight black men. I have I'm the only gay, it's only 2 gay boys out of our family that's mostly men. So I never had those type of issues. So I just think that for you to want all of us to have this extreme anger and hate, that's a lot to ask
let me just
for.
say this, and just to kind of jump in and offer Trent a life preserver. I understand what you're saying, though, because for those of you who are familiar with Ed Buck and those who you are not, I would encourage you to Google him. But he's a member of the Democratic Party, openly gay, white guy, a contributor to the Democratic Party. Well, 2 years ago, maybe 3, if that. There were some cases where he was injecting drugs in heroin, whatever, in young black gay men who had transplanted to LA, to California. They were one guy in particular, his name was Jermel, and he was from Louisiana. He had moved out to California, long story short, fell on hard times. And this guy, Ed Buck, white guy, again, seduced him with money. Hey, you know, fetishized another one, a white man who fetishizes black men or men of color. And he ended up overdosing. And black folks knew about it. Black folks were made aware of it, those who weren't familiar with the case. But a lot of black folks turned a blind eye to it because this boy was gay and he had been soliciting him, so he had been prostituting to survive. And so black folks took issue with it, and nobody really spoke anything, even when after it was brought to their attention by so many gay LGBTQ groups, and nobody really said anything. And then two of those boys, if I'm not mistaken, overdosed. It was a total of about 3 that we're aware of. And so what Trent is saying is, no one comes to our rescue when we're in danger.
Right.
But the world wants us, i.e., Black Lives Matter, wants us to care about black people.
That's true.
I'm telling you, I'm black first. So I'm always going to be about black people. And
okay, now, Craig,
and hold on, let me finish my thought. And I'm not going to say, well, I'm not going to, stand up for Breonna Taylor or for George Floyd or whomever, black person that's been killed. I'm not going to remain mute, because when you to stand there and do nothing and say nothing, you're just as complicit. So I'm not going to not love and adore black people simply because there are a crop, whether macro or micro, that do not like gay people. I can't do that because I'm not going to allow you, this community, to make me something or someone that I'm not.
Okay, Craig, you consider yourself black first. Do you think cishet black people in macro consider you black, or do they consider you gay first?
What they consider of me is not my business.
That's the world we live in. We are only black. We are only black when they catch a blue knee to their neck. We're only black when they get murdered. The moment that something happens to you, Craig, you, Derek, or me, Trent Greer, this is what's going to happen. Oh, that's some faggot shit. That ain't got nothing to do with us. They were trying to kill gay Africans in 2014 in Uganda by the state, and black people in this country did not say a goddamn word because they do not give a fuck about us and they do not value our lives. If Breonna Taylor, again, was a trans woman, we would not be having this conversation. So for me, why could I, or why would I ever support a race that does not support me? I don't understand that. I don't get it.
I'll tell you why. Because there aren't enough of us. When I say us, I mean black people, period, regardless of sexuality. There aren't enough of us to be able to continue to fight within the same community. We have to band together and be fighting against them. So there aren't enough of us to be able to be divided like that. That's my answer.
So in essence, you're willing to be shit on by other black.
I didn't say that either.
I mean, then what is it?
This is what we're going to wait, Trent. This is what we're going to do. Because like I told you, I deal with this with Craig. I get it. We get it. We understand. We just going to agree to disagree.
Okay.
We're going to agree. We're going to agree. I understand where you're coming from, but we're going to agree to disagree on this conversation. All right. So we're going to drop you down, Trent. We're going to bring you back up for the roundabout, okay?
All right.
You about to pull a Craig on me, child. I was like, wait now.
Girl, I've been healed from that.
That was just last week. Okay, so we had 2 people dropped in, 2 of our. So we had one of our really smart people.
Right.
I know she got notes and everything. She
and bonnet and
notes and bonnet. So. Hey, Amber.
The notebook right here.
Come on, millennial.
Yo, cuz say you're willing to be shit on. Like, oh, this is a lot. Oh my God. Okay, so I was with Trent in the beginning.
I was too, Amber.
So he said the white people, they get a pass, and I was like, no, sir, it's us all of y'all. I don't.
Not over here.
Right?
Listen, bitch, you split a verb in front of me. Oh man, that's not correct. I pull them together every chance I get.
All of them. I don't like. I don't deal with straight men like I don't like straight men, period. Like black, white, blue. Like I just don't deal with them because like he was saying, they're dangerous to society. Like, and for all the women that was when he first started talking, before he made the white comment, all the women that was saying, "Oh, who hurt him? Why you coming for straight men like this?" Y'all act like y'all don't have several homegirls that's with niggas that's cheating on them, not taking care of their kids, going upside their head. So don't come with the who hurt him when just because it's not happening to you, you know that it's straight niggas out here that's doing a lot of us dirty. And then let's get into the trans women and men. They dropping like flies.
Yes,
At the
indeed.
hands of straight men, murdering, abuse, all this other kind of stuff. So let's not act like he was just putting that stuff out his ass because he was not.
Correct.
No, I agree.
Let me look at my notes.
You better have your notes. You better have your notes for every second class session that we do.
I do. Right here.
We ready, Amber.
My handy dandy notebook. But yeah, so like I don't like how they was trying to make it seem like he was just pulling that stuff out his ass because he wasn't.
Yeah.
And like I said, he lost me when he started talking about the white people because
right.
It's
but my question to you, Amber, what I was trying to just understand is that we can't just hate everybody because of this situation, like because of the situation. Like I get it. I really do. I understand all that stuff he's talking about. But if that's also not your experience,
I wouldn't say that I hate them, but it's a very strong dislike. Like it's a very, very strong dislike. It's like this much from being hate with men. And like I like he was saying, like I'm not attracted to masculinity at all. Like I'll be with a gay man before I be with a straight man. I'm not attracted to like studs or masculine women. None of that. I like femininity, and I like men who are comfortable within themselves. Like y'all was saying earlier, it's an energy thing. Like everybody. And Derek.
I got that from you, Amber.
Yeah, I was taking little mental notes earlier. You were saying that some people either have feminine energy or some people have masculine energy, but all of us as human beings, we have both. But some people just tend to have more than, the other average person. But I just don't like niggas who are imbalanced. Like that's where I, have a problem. Like niggas that's macho or with the toxic masculinity, I'm not with none of that because I will slap you in your face. Like I'll fight a nigga before I ever put my hands on a woman.
So you identify as bisexual?
Yes, but I don't really like men like that. Like I don't like masculine men. Like I don't even know what to call it. I mean,
wait. He's the complete antithesis of masculinity. So is this your speed?
I mean, I like men who are balanced. Like I don't mind if you wear makeup. I don't mind if you get your nails done. Like I don't mind all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I said, not me, child. But that's different.
Not like heavy, like drag makeup or whatever. If that's what you do that. But that's not what I like. I just like men who are well balanced.
Well, thank you, Amber, as always.
That was just my little tidbit, child. Y'all stop being trifling in the comments. Y'all stop doing that. Messy is okay, but trifling.
Oh,
not what we gonna deal with.
I didn't mean to do that. You said messy is okay and what?
Messy and funny is okay, but trifling and disrespectful, we don't deal with that over here. Stop doing that in the comments. That man was not pulling that stuff out his ass. These are facts.
I have a feeling I'm gonna meet you one day, Amber.
Yo, man, I was so tight because Corona happened and we couldn't do the book signing. I was so ready to meet all the other pen pals. I was so ready.
Hold on, let me not talk about that too much, but I'm gonna drop the link down if you need to purchase some books.
I'm about to say, girl, you better not put no commercial on, bitch. Ain't no commercial break today.
Yo, I set my alarm 5 minutes late because I knew your commercials was gonna come. So I set it for 9:05 instead of 9:00.
And we came right on.
Yeah, you know, girl, it's about 20 minutes of commercial, child.
It is, and I just skip them.
Right. Bye, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys doing this evening?
Good. How are you? Talk to us, Mike.
Well, actually, I jumped on because old boy that jumped on. I like a lot of people. I was definitely feeling what he was saying. I agreed with him to a certain point. But again, when he started to excuse the white people, I started feeling a little tension building up in my chest. And I wanted to know, first of all, because I mean, he came on here with a lot of anger. I know he talked about passion, but I heard anger. I didn't hear a lot of passion. I heard a lot of anger in his tone and in his voice. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to know what kind of relationship he had with his father, first and foremost. And does he date black men or does he prefer to date white guys? Because I don't know. He kind of dogged us out there at the end. So I mean, I didn't really come on to say a whole lot. I just, you
came on to be a therapist tonight. You try to unpack some things tonight.
Because I think at the end of the day, first and foremost, let me just say, I love the way you was all out your seat. You was like, oh no, like you was sitting real forward, like a real antique. Like I think if you sit in front of you, had that hand up, like say something like. But no,
I get passionate too, because it's like, now wait a minute now.
Yeah. But I think, at the end of the day, Craig, to Craig's point, Craig alluded to the point that, there's not enough of us at the end of the day to walk around with that kind of hate on our heart for our fellow brother or sister. Yes, at the end of the day, to his point, hip hop music bleeds toxic masculinity, and does not help us, in the gay culture. But we're not doing anybody any favors by walking out of our house and saying "fuck you" to everybody. That because at the end of the day, I came from the straight world. I lived in the bi world, I guess, for a long time with labels, and then made that crossover very happily. So I still have a lot of straight friends that I still hang out with. I still go play ball with. Like we still really cool at the end of the day. Did I lose some? Absolutely. Was there any hate in my heart for it? Absolutely not, because, like Craig said, that's something they have to deal with, right? That's something, at home, when they praying to whatever God they have at the end of the day, that's something that they need to ask themselves why they have an issue with who I am, because I'm not chasing no straight dude, period. I'm not into it. I don't find any attraction to them whatsoever. So, I was very clear in my, coming out with my friends, like, y'all ain't got shit to worry about, because truth be told, I don't feel like straight dudes really know how to get up between there, and clean it right. You know what I mean? And that's just my life.
Bye, Mike. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll talk to you later, Mike. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mike was going to a whole nother conversation. So we're going to pop up. Hi, Shar.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi there.
I am good. So I just wanted to join. I always watch you guys. I think it's awesome. So thank you for having me. Now I am an ally to the community. I have a bunch of gay guy friends. I don't really know a bunch of like lesbians or anything, but that is what it is. And the Trent whole thing, it just, like Amber said, he lost me. Like at first I was like, okay, I see you, because as a Black woman, as an African American woman or Haitian American woman, like Black women get dogged out by Black dudes. So I 100% could see how somebody's like, I don't fuck with straight Black dudes because they ain't shit, so forth and so on. I can understand that. But to say that you hate all of them because you've had a bad experience with a few is just absurd. And then to turn around and say, well, in macro, I hate all Black dudes, but in micro, I'm okay with white dudes because they've given me jobs. But in macro, no, it's cool. Like, you just overlook that. I think that is absurd. And in addition to that, when he was just on here, which I was typing in the comments like crazy, I was like, you say how much you hate heterosexual Black dudes, but yet you want to be in a heteronormative relationship. You talk about how you're so masked, you're so big, you're so this, and yet you want to have a tiny little feminine man, and you want to live in a heteronormative relationship. You want to call him your wife. You want to refer to him in feminine pronouns, but you talk about how much you hate.
Because he said that in a previous conversation, right?
Exactly, yes.
You better remember.
Right.
Sure, I didn't think about that, Shar. I was just so hot at everything else, girl. But yes, Shar.
Right. So you saying all that to then turn around and say, well, I don't like anything about the straight man, but yet you want to live in your homosexual relationship as a heterosexual man. How does that work? How does that work exactly?
Oh, Shar, well, you know what, y'all.
They be paying attention.
Y'all pay attention.
Like the fact that she remembers that. I mean, I know a lot of times they remember like a person's face or their name or something.
I mean, when they show found me saying something, child, so they can go look up something.
They didn't just have to find you saying something. I'm not going to repeat it tonight.
All right, not tonight. Thank you. But Shar, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that insight. So I know, I mean, Trent, we gonna bring you back up because I know you got a lot to say. But so we're gonna bring you back up, Trent. But thank you, Shar.
But before we bring you back up, Trent, think about some of the things that the people are saying before you come back.
And just a rebuttal.
Yeah.
Hello, the Anthony Brown. I'm about to read the whole thing. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, how you doing, Derek?
I'm good. How are you?
How you doing? I saw that that you were holding up.
I got it. Came in the mail. I love it.
He ain't playing no commercials today, so child, we don't need no one right now.
So I'm the commercial. I'm the commercial today.
That's right. That's right. That's right, Anthony.
Yes. I love the topic tonight, and it's definitely a much needed conversation. But I want to just add to it two things I wanted to say. Personally, I don't have a problem with the heterosexual men. Most of my male friends actually are heterosexual. For some reason or another, I may have a handful of gay male friends, but for the most part, my male friends are heterosexual men. That's the first thing I wanted to point out. And I just tend to get along better with them for whatever reason. Second thing I want to say is, like, this is crazy. I've had a boy toy now for about 9 years. And
it's okay.
Exactly.
Live your life.
Oh.
And for some reason, he's still in his mind, he still thinks he's straight.
Really? Now that's a conversation.
Yeah.
But
we've been together. We've been messing around for 9 years, but however, he's had probably 5 girlfriends in those 9 years.
Well, see, that's why in the comments, folk are saying straight identified. So, because he sees himself as straight. Now, we all don't, right. But and here's another conversation. You just gave me another idea for another conversation. Let me just say this because we might need to consider these because first of all, you said that he's been in a relationship with you for 9 years, but he considers himself straight. That's a conversation in and of itself.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The other part of it is you've been in a relationship with him for 9 years, but he's had 5 what?
Girlfriends, females, heterosexual.
So then my question
is, he lives with a woman now.
My question is, why, Anthony, would you allow him to have?
First of all, wait. So we see this is why we had this conversation.
But that's why I said this is a whole other conversation.
Because he did not say that was his boyfriend. He said it was his boy toy. That's what he said.
True.
So thank you.
You're right.
Yeah, so before we Anthony.
Because I was sitting there thinking, okay, you're in a relationship with him, but you've allowed him to have 5. But they're not. He's your boy toy. Got it.
Exactly.
Got it. What city are you in, Anthony?
I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida.
West Palm Beach.
Well, Anthony, thank you so much for your insight on this, sir.
Craig, your gift basket is on the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'll let you know
Derek, check your email.
I would do so. Thank you, Anthony.
All
right. We have one last person. I think it's Travis. That we.
Wait, so you just left and
you left and came back.
You know what? And then I actually didn't even click on the link to actually be included on here. I was actually watching it from my phone. But hey, everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about y'all?
I'm fine, thank you. Now, how do you identify, sir?
I'm openly gay.
Okay. And then what has your experience been between with straight men, being a gay black man?
Well, growing up, straight men have always exuded toxic masculinity for me. Mm-hmm. I've always been a feminine guy, but I'm very friendly and I make a lot of friends or acquaintances, if you will. Mm-hmm. So it was traumatic for me growing up. But I think as I got older and started being comfortable with who I am, I don't hate anybody, really. I think that my comfortability with straight men actually came when I actually joined my church back in 2018. And they embraced me for the most part. So I'm cool with that. Now, I do feel like with me and straight men, it's more of a cordial conversation. Like, hey, you know, how you doing? But anything beyond that, I haven't experienced that, because I know a lot of people were talking about, you know, having straight male friends and hanging out with their friends. And so I haven't really got a chance to really experience that. So, so yeah.
Okay, so then my question for you is that you said you dealt with that. So did you have anger towards black men?
No, it was more of a disappointment. With the toxic masculinity, it was always, you know, you need to carry yourself a certain type of way, or make sure that you hold yourself to a standard of what we call, quote unquote, a man. And so dealing with that, but
so you experienced it from, who did you experience that from? Was it like family members?
Some male family members, and just some people who felt like that they had my best interests, many church members. And so it kind of hurt. But as I got older, I'm living in my truth. I'm a Christian, love God, and you know, I have no regrets. So I went through everything for a reason. So
do you have straight friends now?
Acquaintances.
Okay.
Most of my friends are cisgendered straight women.
Okay. Okay. But thank you for that, Travis. We're gonna drop you down and we'll bring you back for the roundabout. Okay. So we had somebody pop in, but before we get to that, we're gonna start clearing out some of our people that was here in the beginning. So we're gonna go right back here to Big Red. So hey, Big Red. So you heard we had your conversation that we had earlier.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Hey, your boy, he need a hug. But but real talk, I know something has happened to him in his past life that has triggered him to have the views that he has on the heterosexual community, because it'll be a guy like me that will save his life in the streets. You get what I'm saying? And that he needs to recognize and focus on that. You can't take, you know what I'm saying? I know it takes one, you know what I'm saying? There's always one bad apple in the doggone, you know what I'm saying, there, but you cannot say it spoiled the entire doggone crop. You know what I'm saying? You can't, I'm not going to wear that badge that he's putting out there. I'm not wearing it. Because still the fact that he said that if I seen him right now today on the street and somebody would bash him or they were jumping on him, I'd pull that thing out and let their ass have it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just what it is. I'm always been that guy. Nobody's going to change me. Nobody's going to paint a picture over me, label me or nothing. Just like you had a comment at 9:26 p.m., Miss SK, whoever that is, they tried to doggone say something about me coming out the closet. Oh, really? Okay, well, my rebuttal to that coming out the closet is wishful thinking of the doggone person that doesn't think very well when it comes to doggone masculinity in this community. So I feel like this. If Big Red's coming out the closet, it's because I'm coming out with an AK to blast your ass. That's what I'm coming out the closet with. Okay, that's
we don't want to say all that, Big Red.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know that's who I am. Don't judge me. Ask me.
I'm sorry.
You feel me? And one thing I won't do is I won't come at you sideways. So don't start out coming at me sideways. But I didn't have to say nothing because Big Meech was to the rescue in the comments. You'll see that later. But what I'm saying, but you people got to understand, everybody don't have the same views. It takes a nation of millions to come together in order to get to the point that we need. All the plateaus we need to meet, we got to come together. I don't care what you do. But the problem is with a lot of people in the communities out here in the world, they as soon as they say gay to a heterosexual person, I'm going to say the ignorant level of a heterosexual black man, the first thing he's thinking about is y'all bedroom. Why does that come to mind? That has nothing to do with what the points are. You know what I'm saying? It's like you, Craig, hell of a writer, okay? What does that have to do with you being gay? Now, to me, one thing don't mean nothing to the other because, bruh, the stuff you say in your book, I have made some directive and changes. I moved around. You know what I'm saying? And what really got me to it, I skimmed through your book. I'm one of the people, I'm a book skimmer. You know what I'm saying? I skimmed through your book. Then when you came on my radio show, and Meech read a passage from your book, I said, hold up, I got to go open that shit back up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? So I went back.
My Big Red, he don't need another commercial now. Anthony and already gave the commercial.
Eric, you stand down. Don't you do that. but no. But no, at the same time, man, I just feel like that brother needs a hug. I really wish I knew somebody who could help him because his views are kind of it's up to me. His views are of the malicious basher. He is taking on their skin. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them that carry that negative energy towards you turn you into the same negative energy. Don't let them be who, you know what I'm saying? No, you can't make a monster out of me because you're a monster. You're not gonna do that.
And Big Red, we're gonna let you end on that note because that's a good straight to end on. Thank you very much, Big Red. Okay. Well, we'll pop over to Rio. You gotta unmute yourself back. There we go. So Rio, you've been hearing and listening, and so what how would you round up this conversation if you had to have a conversation with our fellow straight black men? What would you say to them?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, I respect everybody's perspective on here, and I do take a piece from everybody. I've learned a lot, but I just think that we need to embrace each other more. We need to have these kind of conversations more openly so that we can come to a conclusion. And we also just need to just stop bashing each other. Like if somebody, hating other people is not going to get a resolution. Like that's the point of this type of a conversation so that we can get to a better space. So, he needs to get a trend. He needs to go get a little some of that hate out of his heart, maybe sit down and talk to a therapist so he can move forward. But, basically we just need to just come together, have these conversations, be bold, be fearless about it, and just, move forward. What's happening?
Craig did drink too much, child. So Craig.
It's just, we need to have more of this kind of dialect between more straight men, like what Derek was trying to do initially, and it'll help. So, I like the Big Red before, I think that's his name, right? What he said, he's an ally. So, it does exist. So being hateful doesn't get us anywhere.
Well, thank you, Rio.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Marquez. How are you? So you got to hear the conversations, all that good stuff. But how would you want to round up the conversation if you can't talk to give advice to straight black men? What would that be?
That's a really good question. I think, in all honesty, if I had to go to a straight black man and say, "Listen, you're angry, just stay out my goddamn business." That's what you can do. If you stay out my goddamn business, I'm gonna stay out yours. In all honesty, I never asked you your position that you had sex in. I never asked you who you lay with. I never asked you any of those personal things because it's none of my business. So you should take that same approach and don't worry about my lifestyle, and don't let it really just hold you back from having a genuine friendship or having hate towards someone. Because at the end of the day, it ain't none of your business. If that's what's going to hold you back because someone else is gay, don't be surprised when someone holds you back because you're black. It's just, it goes around the same way. So stay out my goddamn business and find somebody to play with. That's it. Those are the only two that I can give to you.
Well, and I would tell you that's a good thing to say. Just play with somebody else, honey. Thank you, Marquez. Okay, so can we make it through this?
I can, absolutely.
Girl, you probably got about 10 more minutes of you, Craig. So
I'm very much so present.
Trent, you up?
Okay, first of all, I already knew this was going to happen. What I knew was going to happen was that I was going to be attacked by gay people. I need help. I'm angry. All of this shit. Nobody has said that these black homophobes need help or or anything for the hatred that they give us. That's number one. Number two, let me address this Shar chick right quick. What Shar does not know is that my fiance told me, and I've known him for nearly 9 years. He told me, don't make reference to me as your husband. I don't identify with that. He told me, you know, I've always felt like I wanted to be a bride. He understands that he is a man. He's not transgender or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was him. This is our dynamic with what he has asked me to do. I told him I didn't have a problem with it. I told him that I'd actually dated other men who felt the same way. Mm-hmm. Now here we are with this heteronormative shit. One thing I've learned about the gay community is this. If you come on here and say that you mask for mask, there's a goddamn problem with that. You come on here and say that you mask for femme, there's a goddamn problem with that. No matter what you do, no matter what it is that you are, what you identify with, somebody in the black gay community got a goddamn problem with it. I want to say that. Next thing I want to say is when I can't remember which one of you asked me about white people, I only got to barely respond. And everybody just ran with it without me being able to express myself about whatever the question. I don't even remember the question you asked about white people.
I think why. Well, not I think. I know why everybody just kind of jumped, because you had when you came on, you came out with so much force against straight people. But then when I said, do you have the same feeling against white people? You didn't have that same force. It was kind of like, not them.
I didn't get to express myself because I was.
I know, I was looking for the same passion in that you have for black straight people. I was looking for that same passion back when it comes to white people, because it's all in the same situation. That's okay. I think that's where the situation came in at.
Okay. However, once again, I was cut off before I could express myself completely on that.
Here.
Okay, and one thing I want to make crystal clear is when it comes to black heterosexual women, those are all of my friends. Those are people who have defended me and protected me and sheltered me my whole life. So with black heterosexual women, not all of them, but for the majority of them, I don't have an issue with them. None whatsoever. I want to make that clear.
Gotcha.
Now, this guy who is Big Red or whatever. Now, let me bring attention to what he said when you first brought him on. Well, Big Red, how do you identify? I'm 100% heterosexual. What the fuck was that for? You want to know what it's for? Because he don't want to be considered you, or me. That's what that shit is about.
Well, no, what
100% heterosexual. It's like a white person saying, I'm 100% white because I don't want to be a nigga.
But McCoy said he was 100% gay.
Yeah, he said gay boots.
Gay boots, like I'm gay down. I'm
gay down or something.
I mean, so I think.
Okay, but that's just like somebody saying the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Whatever is perceived to be as negative, people have to use a mantra or a battle cry to uplift themselves. Yes, I'm 100% gay. You don't have a person going out here talking about white pride when everything is laid out for you from day one. When you're gay, black, when you are underfoot, you have to have a mantra to say, yes, I'm 100% gay. But a person who says I am 100% heterosexual, to me, is tantamount to saying no homo and pause. Make no mistake, I'm not that.
Somebody asked in the comments earlier, if you're, how do you identify your partner? You said wife?
I'm gay.
Right, but is your partner black or white? That's what Craig's trying to figure out.
My partner is Puerto Rican.
Yeah, somebody in the comments was asking what's your partner's race.
Yeah.
Okay, and before that, I've had one relationship with one white guy, and all of the rest of the relationships I've had have been with black gay men. Because you have to understand, when you get on here and you start talking about the macro and how fucked up black people are, how fucked up black culture is when it comes to us, everybody's coming from my neck. You must love white men. You must fuck white men. You must love white people because you're going against, and you're calling these black people out on this goddamn carpet. That's what this is about.
But Trent, I'm honestly, I know Craig. I'm still figuring out. We asked you, do you have the same feeling towards white people? You still didn't answer that question.
Okay,
yet.
The answer is this. I acknowledge and I know that white supremacy exists. Let me tell you this though. As a black gay man with a 9th grade education, I dropped out of high school in the 9th grade because I was so fiercely and fucking harassed by heterosexual black men. I dropped out of high school. When I got into the workplace, I noticed that I had a leg up. I was hired by mostly white men and a few black women.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience being there, I noticed that heterosexual black men in largely weren't allowed really to be there, particularly in upper management.
Right.
What I'm saying is my experience with these few white people, which is subjective, which has nothing to do with racism not, existing. My experience with them, what I'm trying to say is, with gay privilege,
what you're trying to say is what I try to say to you about black men, and you told me I was wrong.
But you're
so the thing is that we didn't. So Trent, we didn't jump to a conclusion. We understood what you were saying when you said the 4 words that came out your mouth. We exactly understood what you said. We understood you get to this point. You're saying the exact same thing. You're saying that these few white men have done this for me. Mm-hmm. So I understand this over there. And I'm telling you the same thing. I understand what's going on out there. But in my experience with black straight men, I have not had that experience. I was not picked on. I did not have to come out. I didn't have to leave school because I was getting bullied. Those were not my experiences. So you can't tell me I'm wrong for feeling this, because like you telling me I can't tell you wrong for saying you down with the white people. Now,
I'm not saying I'm down with the white people. See, here we go again.
But no, what you're saying
it's implied.
It's implied. Like
let me say this. I believe that all white people are inherently racist, be they conscious or unconscious of it.
Just not the one.
No, that's not true. If you participate in white supremacy, you don't have to burn a cross on your front yard. You can just simply not want to give up your privilege as a white person, which makes you racist. So please understand, I do not, I'm not carrying around some flag for white people. I believe all white people, consciously or unconsciously, are racist, whether they pay me or not. But one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to negate black homophobia and that protected and celebrated disease in black people, because 1, 2, 3, 4 black people that some of y'all know are not homophobic. Are not homophobic, but what you're saying is you're trying to make the exception the rule.
I'm not Trick. No, once again, I'm just gonna say this one last time, because like I said, me and you just not connecting. I understand everything that you're saying. I agree with you. I agree everything. I'm telling you, I agree with you. All things you're saying, but and which is a whole other conversation that we own it. But what I'm saying to you is that you're saying the same exact thing that I'm saying, but it's okay that you're saying it because it's something that you believe in, but it's not okay when I say it. That's all. That's what we're trying to get a point across. That's all that is.
I mean, I understand, but I'm also calling all white people inherently racist. I'm
just saying that I'm saying there are black straight men that are homophobic, and they do. I'm saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing. You just don't want to accept what I'm saying because that's go against what you want to hear. That's all. But I'm glad to have your input. Thank you very much. And we're gonna see you again, Trent. Or talk to you again, because we don't never see you. We just talk to you.
I mean, okay. Well, one thing I want to let you know is I'm making an album as we speak, and I'm addressing these homophobic niggas head on.
Gotcha.
When the world hears it, this is just a piece of what I've got to say. Trust me. And let me make it clear. This is not hurt you here. This is hate you here. Make no mistake.
All right. Well, thank you. Whew. Lord Jesus. So Amber, Mike, Anthony, thank y'all for being our correspondents for tonight. Big Red, I know you over there. I can't This conversation would go on for hours, and we don't have it right now. I see everybody. I see all you guys down here. So Big Red, I see you. Rio, I see you. Mike, I definitely see you. Mike shaking his head. Anthony's here. And everybody's like, what the hell is going on? So yeah. What's our next?
That's what I was just trying to find. Wait.
We done with that. What's this?
This one is October.
That's
20.
October. Hold on. That's November. That's December.
I don't have another one. Like it should be one like for the 7th.
Yeah, but we don't have. We got to figure out. We don't know what we're talking about next week. I mean, in 2 weeks, but we're gonna figure it out.
Maybe I deleted it.
I don't. Well, you know.
See if you.
I don't know.
Let's see. We're trying to figure out what.
Hold on. We don't know. We normally do this in the beginning. We were too busy running our mouths.
Right.
But we have. Why is that your better angle? Or you want people to read your shirt?
No.
Oh, okay. I just don't like how our heads just be cut off.
Oh.
That's why I like just lift it a little bit.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Let me just focus on finding.
Yeah,
the flyer.
focus on finding the flyer.
Let me tell y'all something. Derek J. He and his sister are running an organization over here. And all I know is I came in here. Ornate. I can barely focus my eyes. I was trying to remain professional. I didn't want y'all to know. He and his sister running an organization. And I came in here. As soon as I came in here, they done gave me an edible of Fruity Pebbles. And she said, go ahead and eat that. She said, go ahead and eat that whole thing. Then she turned around and gave me a shot of Kool-Aid that also is an edible. And then he came and gave me this drink. Baby, I'm not even sitting here no more. I'm home. Like, I couldn't focus my eyes.
Craig checked out about 30 minutes ago, y'all.
and I saw your comment saying, Craig sure is quiet tonight.
Craig checked out about 30 minutes. That's why I can't even get to the rest of everybody right now because Craig can't even.
Listen, I can't even sit up. But I don't know why they would give me all of that. And I
Craig, no, Craig. See, now y'all don't. Now, as long as y'all been seeing us together,
I am in no condition to argue.
Y'all know Craig tells different stories. My sister said, "Hey." My sister said, "Hey, there's something in the kitchen." Craig said, "Oh, what is it?" Craig ran his ass up in there.
No. I'm gonna tell you what she said. What she said was, "Craig, you want some drugs?" I barely got to the top of the step. She said, "Craig, you want some drugs?" And I said, "Some what?" Oh. And then she ushers me over here to these Fruity Pebbles, the size of
she literally just said, she said, "How's Craig doing?"
The size of a Rice Krispie treat. And she got 2 gallons of like Kool-Aid with edible. And she made me drink that. I said, the Fruity Pebbles is enough. She said, no, you'll be fine. And then he comes with this cocktail. I'm barely still sitting here. I'm sorry.
That's what. So y'all, we're not prepared tonight. We don't have the rest of our
stuff. I will never do this again before a conversation.
So wait a minute, y'all. Oh, this is funny. So we don't know what it is. It's good, Craig. We gonna do a live tomorrow with all the information that we need to have. So, Craig, let's close this out.
Ooh, well, I normally would say, email us at GLMcombo.
But we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll let you know what the next conversation is. But you can go on over to CraigTheRegisterStore.com and purchase some bugs.
Oh, see, he ain't that high.
He ain't never that high. But then also, thank you for supporting what we do. Here are our cash apps.
Yes.
To continue the production.
I guess since I'm a pusher now, and I got to support my business.
I'm like,
oh God! But anyway, thank you guys.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Y'all have a good night.
All right, bye.
Bye.